Hello and welcome to my podcast. My name is LexC. Thank you so much for joining me in this moment. This is new for me because I have never just hopped on Anchor directly to upload a podcast, but I wanted to try it out just to see, how it goes and how it makes me feel, if it is, an option that I could maintain consistently, as far as giving you, the listener, quicker access to what's going on in my life, not just things that I schedule out 1 week at a time, because oftentimes that will lead to you only getting content. You get content once a week, but it's content that's possibly months old by the time you listen to it. You know what I mean? So I want to create an authentic experience with my podcast and offer something different that I don't offer on my other platforms. YouTube is kind of the same way, where I record a bunch of content and I put it out there once a week. So that's something that was recorded a month in advance. You'll see, months down the line. So I just want to make this audio version of LexC to be something different. So my goal is to make different, depending on where you're consuming my content, I want it to be a different experience. So if you are reading my content, you're reading anything that I've written, I want it to be different from what you hear on my podcast, and I want it to be different from what you see on my YouTube channel and from what you may see or hear or listen to on my social media. So just to make it kind of like an incentive to go to all these different platforms that I'm on. And that is the reason why I am hopping on here for the first time and recording live, in a sense, to give you, my goal with this is to give you a more raw LexC, more like in my head, my train of thought, how I'm feeling at the moment. I do have LexCheck on my YouTube channel, but again, that is recorded and it's released months after it's actually been recorded. So this is going to be something that's a little bit more up to speed, if you will. The reason why I'm hopping on right now, I wanted to kind of go let out of my own mind, how I'm feeling in this moment, and discuss a few things that has crossed my mind today or in the past couple of weeks. And I didn't write down any notes, so this is completely off the dome, off the top of the head, completely unrehearsed. So I'm going to try to make it as eloquent as possible, but just keep in mind that this is LexC Raw. This is LexCheck in live form. Like, it is 9:35 right now. It's Wednesday, October 9th. It is A3C week and I am in my house. I am not out in the city. I didn't go to any of the events that I wanted to go to today. I was supposed to go to the SoundCloud Creator Forum, which began at 11:30 and, ends tonight at 11 p.m. But I was running late and the panel started in 4 minutes from me leaving the house. You know what I mean? So it was 12:26. The panel started at 12:30. I looked at my GPS, which I did not check beforehand, and it told me that I was going to get there in 30 minutes. That's half of the panel. And then the next panel would start at 2:00. But what was my reasoning? I wanted to be home to check on Taz by a decent time. Taz is my dog, for those of you who may not know, who may not follow me on other social media platforms. But also I was worried about traffic. Anywhere between 2 and 4 o'clock, traffic starts to pick up, and I could have been caught in traffic for at least an hour to 3 hours, depending on, what part of the city I would have to come from to get back home. And so I kind of just talked myself out of leaving the house and going to the event at all, to see even just 30 minutes of it. It is a free event, but I talked myself out of it, like, oh man, you're 30 minutes away. You still got to go get gas because you haven't filled up your car for the week yet. And by the time you get there, you're going to have to turn right back around. If you get stuck in traffic, you're going to be late coming home to check on Taz, and just all of these random thoughts, talking myself out of doing it. And so I pissed myself off. I turn my car off and I run back into the house. Well, I don't run back into the house, but I charge back into the house because I'm pissed off at myself for being late in the first place. And this is something that I'm working on with myself. I know that I have to do something. I know I have to be somewhere by a certain time. I know what time I have to start getting ready so that I can leave when I say I want to leave, so that I can be there early. Because being on time is late in my mind, and being early is being on time. I've always, had that concept taught to me growing up. But anyway, I charged back into the house, and I'm just pissed off at myself, like, dang it, I can't believe I've done this again. I am late. If I would just do better with my time management, if I wouldn't get so caught up, it's not even a time management thing. Well, it is, but it's not. I am caught up in whatever thing that I have started in the moment. This particular time, I was trying to edit a video by a certain time, and I ended up allowing myself to work on that for much longer than I was supposed to. And that caused me to not be able to prepare in detail that I wanted to, because I wanted to present myself a certain way. I didn't do my hair like I was supposed to. I didn't get a cute outfit like I wanted to. And I just did a really bad job of planning, honestly. And I was just mad at myself. Not in the outfit that I wanted, didn't leave at the time that I wanted to. Hair wasn't done the way I wanted. I didn't have my lashes on, no makeup, and gonna be late, gonna miss half the panel that I really wanted to see. So just really angry at myself. I did manage to make it a productive thing, and I cleaned up and packed because I'm in the middle of moving right now. I got a phone call saying, come into the studio. I got this client, they want to do 4 hours. So I tried to make myself feel a little better. Well, you know what? Even though you're missing these panels, at least you are still working within your field, and you are going to make money on a day where you could be burning money, essentially burning gas from my car, which indirectly translates into me spending money, right? Spending the time and the money to go to a place to listen to people talk about the industry that you are already working in. So I'm just trying to hype myself up and give myself some encouragement in that way, some positivity in that way. I think I'm really good at flipping potentially negative situations into positives. I'm constantly looking for the good in things. So even though I was pissed off with myself, I still made it a point to tell myself, well, you're not going to the panel, but at least you did something good by preparing for your move, which is coming up. So now you'll be more prepared for that. Well, you're not going to the panel, but hey, at least you're going to the studio to make some money. Hey, you really need that money. So it's a good thing maybe that you're not going to the panel. But the other part that I pissed myself on too, is like, this session, since I'm going now, it's at 3:00. It's a 4-hour session, which means it wouldn't get out until 7. I did not even bother preparing myself physically for what I wanted to look like for the nighttime festivities of the festival of A3C. And I just, I don't know. I guess I thought that I would have time to come back home and get dressed up and then head back out. But, it didn't happen that way. And, just in true fashion, how things always seem to go. When you're prepared, things run behind. When you're not prepared, you're suddenly given all the time in the world. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I was anticipating having to stay at this session until 7. We ended up wrapping until 7:30. We ended up wrapping at 6:30, a whole hour before having to go. We ended up finishing the session early, and I'm thinking to myself, dag, because I'm on the side of town that I need to be for the next portion of the event for A3C, had I just made sure and taken the time to get myself presentable the way that I wanted to be, earlier today, because let me speak in the present tense. Had I put in the effort to make myself look physically the way that I wanted to look earlier in the day, then I could have just immediately left this session and gone to the event, because it is a first come, first serve basis. It's a free event, and a big name person, L.A. Reid, was going to be there. Him and 2 other people on a panel discussing industry and possibly answering questions from the audience. Had I prepared myself before leaving for this session, I would have increased my chances, increased my probability of successfully presenting myself the way I wanted to and being on time for the event and not having to worry about running back home. But of course, I didn't realize this until just now telling you about it. And it really just frustrated me, And so I get home and I'm like, man, it took me 30 minutes to get home. I didn't get home till 7:30 because me and the artist chatted a little bit. It's always good to, get to know who you're working with and just see, where their head is at and chat with them a little bit to get to know them a little bit. It's good. I don't mind spending my time getting to know people who feel genuine, you know what I mean? Whose energy is good. So I don't regret that part at all. But it's just like, man, it's like 8 o'clock by the time I'm getting home. I still got to walk my puppy to make sure he's good, make sure he goes to the bathroom and feed him. The event, the mixer portion, so the panel would be from 7:30 to 8:30, and the mixer is 8:30 to 10 o'clock. And I'm just like, by the time I leave here and get down there, I don't even know if I have to pay for parking. I don't know if I'm even going to be let in because it is a first come, first serve basis. What if it's already packed? Because I went to the kickoff event last night, which was hosted by Atlanta United, and they weren't really trying to let people in, even though it turned out to not be a lit situation anyway. It was actually a very dull party. The highlight of that night was playing FIFA on the big screen with a stranger named Evan, whom I had just met that night. That was the most fun I had. And I passed out one business card to one person because I'm still working on this whole networking thing. But yeah, I'm just, again, talking myself out of doing it. And it's like, man, by the time I get finished walking Taz, it's 8:30. My hair's not done the way I want. My makeup's not done the way I want. I don't really know what I'm wearing. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't feel like going anywhere. Oh, and on the way home too, I filled up my car with gas. And so that caused me to get home a little later than anticipated as well. But it's just like, you know what? I don't feel like doing anything. So I'm just convinced myself to stay in the house. But even then, I'm trying to be gentle with myself. So what I used to do, and I've always been a very optimistic person, but I used to be very harsh on myself, very hard on myself when I did not do something that I said I wanted to do. I've slowly been learning these days that it's okay to miss the mark every now and then because, excuse me, that was a weird little hiccup thing that just happened there. Try to get us some air, and that was a yawn. I do apologize for headphone users. But anyway, I've been working really hard to develop within myself the characteristic of being gentle with myself, of being forgiving with myself, because oftentimes we are our own worst critics. And I'm sorry that this took 12 and a half minutes to get to. I hope you are still with me on this, but here is a message coming up. This is new. You know what I'm saying? These are raw. This is straight off the dome. So this is how it's going to go. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and then a message is going to come out of it somewhere. And next thing you know, I vented. You've heard my experience. Hopefully you related to it, and you've related it to your own situation. And now we're both inspired. It's a win-win situation. But anyway, I've been practicing self-love, if you will, in layman's terms, but being very forgiving of myself, being gentle of myself, not being so critical of myself. There are enough people in this world who will be critical of you without your permission. So the least that you can do is be gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself, be very forgiving and understanding of yourself. Why do we give other people outside of our body? Why do we give other people so much grace? And yet we are so harsh on our own selves. And so I've been going through, and it's been a rough year, damn it. It's been a hard year, but I have done a really good job of just recently, I'll say maybe the past 3-4 months, I've done a really good job of being very understanding with myself. All of that to say that despite today not going the way I expected it to go, there were still pockets in the day where I was able to see the good in what was going on. You know what I mean? And even though I did not do what I said I wanted to do today, there is a silver lining in that, hey, this was not what you expected, but tomorrow, let's try this again and see if we can do a better job. Where did I possibly go wrong today? How can I make sure that I don't make the same mistake tomorrow? It's okay. Things didn't quite work out. I'm sitting on my couch right now doing this podcast. I was so mad at myself. I was, just kind of seething almost, like, dang, I can't believe, disappointed in myself is what I should say. That's a better way to say it. Like, man, I just can't believe that I did not do anything A3C that I said I wanted to do today. And I just sat on the couch, scrolled through social media for a little bit, and then decided, you know what, put the damn phone away and do some work for yourself. The least you could do, you may not have done A3C stuff today, but you went to the studio and you made money. And now you can do something else for yourself. Let's edit this YouTube video. You're supposed to do this anyway. So let's go ahead and knock that out. So, just still trying to be productive. And that is completely okay. The day may not have gone the way that I envisioned it in my mind. But honestly, how often do things go exactly the way that we planned them to in the first place? Where that self-love comes in, that self-care, that being understanding and forgiving of yourself, where that comes in is and saying that, you know what, I had a vision. I can remove my ego enough to realize that I will not always reach the destination on the path that I thought I would take to get there. It's okay. I redirected. I maybe took a detour. Maybe I took the scenic route and it took me a little bit longer, but that's okay. There's another chance tomorrow. There is more of the journey to trek the next day and the next day, God willing. As long as life and breath is in this body, it's okay. It's fine. Like, don't take life too seriously, So what I'm going to do is, and I hope that you found some inspiration from this as well. What I'm going to do is, where did I make a mistake? I did not get up and out of bed. I did not get up and get out of bed when I was supposed to. And I also think that eating a large pumpkin spice $5 cake from Kroger had something to do with my bad mood as well, because, that's a bunch of processed sugar, a lot of empty calories that I put into my body that did not do anything beneficial for me. So I'm a big believer that, that whole saying, you are what you eat. Well, that food was not very good food. And in turn, it made me not feel very good. So I'm a huge believer in that. I think it did play a role in my mood for today and why I got so frustrated with myself. But I'm going to eat better tomorrow. I'm going to get up out of bed like I'm supposed to. I'm going to do my full workout like I'm supposed to. I am going to take a shower immediately after my workout and get myself presentable. And then I'm going to, eat my breakfast. I'm going to feed my puppy as well. And so when it's time to leave, I can just get up and go instead of worrying about, all right, if I stop what I'm doing at this time so I can prepare to leave at this time, because that's where I messed up. If I just stay ready, I won't have to get ready. Lately, I've been getting ready too much and I just need to stay prepared. And what's good is always having in mind the things that I could be working on. So I have a running list on this app called Tasks, and you can link it to Google. It's actually a tool of Google, so you should check it out. I'm the kind of person, I like to make lists, but I realize that I am more likely to have my phone on me than I am my notebook. So I have a digital list on my phone through an app called Tasks through Google. So I will just jot things down really quickly of stuff that I know I want to work on. And it's like a running list of things that I could be doing. So that's very helpful. So I mentioned earlier that I did not attend the panel like I thought I would. I did not attend the nighttime panel. I didn't attend the mixer like I thought I would. But I was able to redirect my brain and say, you know what? I may not be doing this, but here's what I could be doing. And it makes me feel good to know that I'm still on track with something. I was still being productive. And, it lessened the blow. It lessened the feeling of disappointment that I had in myself in not doing what I originally wanted to do. So, yeah, those are my flaws bared out just for you, whoever you are listening out there. I hope that from listening to me ramble about my day and talk about how to be more understanding of yourself, give yourself that grace, because so oftentimes a lot of people will not give you grace and they won't ask your permission to treat you like crap. They'll just treat you like crap or judge you or whatever. Don't be one of those people to yourself, So I hope that me talking about my experience has helped you to realize that, it's okay. Let me just take a deep breath. Let me restart. Let me recharge and let me restart. and try again tomorrow. As long as you continue to try, you will be just fine. The trouble is if you decide to stop. That is when the trouble is. That's when, depression and anxiety sets in because you become stagnant. But if you just keep trying and be gentle with yourself, realize it's not that serious. You can always start again. As long as you keep trying, you'll be fine. So thank you so much for listening to this very special episode. I don't know what to call it yet because this is on Anchor. This is very new, very spur of the moment. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, actually, and this is my first time putting some action behind that thought and putting it into the universe. I think what inspired me today is I was listening to a video by Impressive on YouTube, and she mentioned that T.I. has a podcast. And I'm thinking to myself, where the hell do these artists find the time to have a podcast? Like Nicki Minaj, Joe Budden, T.I., Cardi B doesn't have one, but her friend who is a blood, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but her friend has her own podcast. It's just like everyone has multiple mediums that you can consume them in. So it's like I can do better with this Anchor thing, and it's super convenient because I can record directly from my phone and upload directly to anchor.fm through the Anchor app. And that's how I am speaking to you today. There's really no excuse for me to not do this thing that I said I wanted to do, that I had the idea to do it. And my motto this year has been, why not? Any idea that comes to mind, why not give it a shot? It could fail, but I will never know until I try. And that is the message. Keep trying. And I think I'm going to title this episode that. Keep trying. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to get off of here for real. Before I go, I just want to give a shout out to one of my sponsors, Ace Dollhouse. Ace Dollhouse is an online women's fashion boutique. They offer super cute styles for anything from casual to fitness to club. They have accessories like eyelashes and jewelry, especially earrings. And they are an online women's boutique. And I have partnered with them. So if you are my listener, you are part of my audience, all you have to do is go to Instagram and search at Ace Dollhouse. And you can look at the inventory that they have on the page, shoot them a message with the outfit or the items that you like, and you can order directly from Instagram from Ace Dollhouse. And if you are my listener, my viewer, you are listening to this right now, you're part of my audience, all of my audience gets 20% off your entire purchase when you use the promo code LexC at checkout. That is 20% off of your entire purchase when you use promo code LexC at checkout. That's promo code LexC, LEXC at checkout. That's at Ace Dollhouse on Instagram, and I will be leaving a link to their website in my description box along with this episode so that you can find them online as well. Those are one of my sponsors. I also would like to shout out myself because I am my own sponsor. I have recently released an ebook titled LexC, The Stories Behind the Music, and it is basically a collection of my thoughts. I wrote down the inspirations and the explanations of lyrics behind my songs on my latest album, self-titled LexC, which was released on June 14th of 2019. So that is available through Amazon. It is available for Kindle to download. So you can visit Amazon and search LexC, LEXC, the ebook, The Stories Behind the Music, and I will soon have an audiobook available for that, and I will be announcing discount codes for that as well. So if you bought the album and you are interested in knowing the inspiration behind how I came up with those songs, or if you're interested in knowing the explanation behind the lyrics on those songs, then I think it's going to be something that you're definitely going to be interested in. It'll give you some inspiration, hopefully, and you can relate to me on a deeper level and get to know LexC a little bit deeper. Also, wintertime is coming up. There is a chill in the air. If you would like to order your LexC mug today, please visit my website at LexCATL.com. That's LexC LexCATL.com. Go to the shop tab, click on apparel, and you can find where you can order a LexC mug, a LexC coffee mug or LexC tea mug, whatever it is you're sipping on, sip it from a LexC mug this winter time. Now through October 31st, I am offering 15% off to the next 3 people who order, but you have to order through me and message me, email me to figure out how you can get that 15% off and get you a LexC mug for this cold season coming up, so you can sip on something warm, nice and cuddled up inside on your couch and some covers, watching movies, sipping hot chocolate from a LexC mug. And you can even customize it with your own wording and your own quotes if you want to. That is a little bit of an extra charge, but again, you're getting 15% off, so hey, go wild, splurge. They also make great stocking stuffers, or it could be a great Christmas present for your mama who loves to sip coffee or your auntie who loves to sip tea. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this very special episode. Keep trying is the word. Keep trying, keep trying. Until next time, peace.